3, 2. Hey, I'm Willis.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Amanda.
We're here talking about a new project that we've got going on, and we're going to speak with Amanda about some of the projects that she's involved in at various spaces around town and her own personal artwork. So, let's just jump right into it with an announcement.
Creative Commons. It's coming to the Frentz Arts Guild. And
I think good context for this, like what is an arts guild traditionally and what is it in practice here in Mankato?
An arts guild traditionally is a group of artists that kind of work as a cohort. So they collaboratively run a space. This is run a little bit differently. Like we do have our studio artists and our renters who are part of it, but we invite artists from outside of the guild itself to be a part of it. So even though we're called the Frentz Arts Guild, anybody in the community is welcome to be a part of it.
Okay.
And Creative Commons is a community event. The idea behind this is it is a weekly event where you can come to the space, whether just to check out the gallery area or the space in general, and there will be coffee, music. Basically, it's basically kind of a hang.
It'll be a low-key networking event where you can work on your creative projects, get ideas from other people involved in projects, and socialize, check out the gallery. And we might develop programming for it at some point, but for right now, we're planning on just having it be more of a social gathering.
Yeah,
it's really just a place to build creative community.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the main focus of it.
Mm-hmm. Give people a space to just get out of their own personal space and kind of. Sometimes that's good for a creative project.
Yeah.
and also, this is an event that we can do that's not directly. It's not like it's free, and it's not trying to drive drink sales or anything like that. It's just a way that we can interact with the Frentz Arts Guild and the community at large. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be doing this every Monday for the foreseeable future. Until something changes.
Yes.
Yep. And 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
6 to 8 p.m. You'll be able to find information about it in the event pages on Facebook. Probably we'll create a Facebook group that will be linked in the video that you're watching right now. And yeah, that should work. It should work nicely.
Lastly, can you give us how to get to the Frentz Guild if you've never heard of it?
Yeah, which many people have not. So the Frentz Arts Guild, it's on South 2nd Street, and it's located in between Centenary Methodist Church and the old Cray Mansion, which is now an apartment building. And we're in the middle, and we're kind of pushed back. So if you go in between Cherry and Warren Streets, and you go on Warren Court, which is the little cul-de-sac in there. That's where the entrance for the Arts Guild is. It's an old church building from the 40s, and it looks like a church. So
upcycled.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll be set up right in the gallery space, and there'll be a conference room nearby. And
yep.
We'll have some tables ready to go there. So we encourage you to bring whatever you need to spend a couple hours working on your creative project. It'll be pretty open format, so bring your tools or come by yourself and socialize.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody's welcome.
Anybody's welcome. All right. Should we segue into, just your involvement with Frentz? I'd be curious about that too, and
sure,
what you do there.
Well, so I'm the executive director right now. I've actually been a studio holder there for 10 years, almost 11. And I worked with Twin Rivers Council for the Arts off and on over the years when they were in the building. Twin Rivers left in October, and now we are in the process of turning the Arts Guild into its own arts nonprofit. So we're working on getting our board together, filing our paperwork, and taking over the gallery and the programming and trying to expand on what was offered before, but also make it our own.
So previously, it was the Emmy Frentz building that was being used by Twin Rivers for a lot of their programming, and now it's an individual, separate entity that's going to be an arts guild, or it's in the process of becoming.
Yes, yeah. So we're gradually adding new programs and gallery exhibitions and things like that, but as soon as we get our paperwork finalized from the state, then we will be a fully functioning 501c3.
Oh, cool. What kind of programming are you looking at getting into?
Well, we want to go a more modern route with the gallery exhibitions and show more contemporary art. We are looking at expanding what is offered in terms of music performances in our gallery space. We've got Jeremy Messersmith coming at the end of March, which is super exciting. But we want to have like regular music events just in a nice quiet venue where people can come and actually just listen to the music instead of going to a noisy bar. We are looking at adding some black box theater in there. Maybe do some like little one-act plays. Having more events for writers and just different disciplines that aren't always represented by some of the arts events around Mankato, trying to make sure that there's a place for everybody in every discipline at some point.
Mm-hmm. I like that, with the concept of a guild being kind of shared, variety, diverse, collaborative art space, getting a lot of different music and art styles in there seems really neat.
Well, and as we get all these different people coming through the building, then they're going to build relationships with each other, and maybe you'll get like a writer and a musician collaborating, or a visual artist and a writer, or whatever. But like, there's so many people in our arts community that don't know each other yet, and this is a good way to bring them together to just meet other people in the community.
I can't tell you how many times I've looked at your parking lot and thought how those back 3 stalls would just look amazing with a stage on them. Just like straight. I've wanted to do it like 100 times. So there should definitely be like a summer street fair.
We've talked about that, actually. That's one of the things we've been playing around with. So we will have to talk, see if we can make this happen.
I just go around and I see fantasy stages all over the place right there.
Well, and we've got the park right behind there, so there's your seating,
Yeah, and some vendors. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, onwards.
Stay tuned. That'll be our next project.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how has Emmy Frentz changed over the course of the time you've been there?
Oh my God, it's changed a ton. I mean, just with all the turnover with Twin Rivers, I think I worked under every single executive director that was there, and of course everyone had a different idea for how they wanted to run things. So the programming and the focus kind of changed every single time, and there were like 6 or 7. And at the time when I first joined, the actual like guild part, like the studios and stuff, we weren't doing a whole lot as a group, and that's really evolved. We're now it's more cohesive, and we've got this little tight-knit community, and the studio artists want to be more involved in day-to-day stuff in the guild and have their voice heard in terms of programming, and we've worked together on like fundraisers and things like that. Like it's just more close-knit now than I think it used to be.
Okay. What sort of artists are in the guild right now as the studio artists?
We've got 3 painters. We have a jewelry artist. We have a massage therapist. She's in the upstairs. And then we have 2 studios that are currently open, and we're working with the art department up at MSU on getting a grant to allow a deserving graduate student space in one of those, so they'll have their own private workspace instead of having to use the big communal painting area up at MSU.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's nice. Sounds like a good variety.
It is. It is. Oh, and we have a fiber artist too. So.
Fiber artist?
Yeah, she has a big, huge weaving loom
Oh.
in her studio, and she does tapestries and things like that.
Okay.
I thought carbon fiber for some reason.
It's a woven.
Yeah, I suppose. It's all the same. Just a very small loom.
And so you're an artist yourself then too?
I am. Yeah, I do painting and mixed media.
Okay. How long have you been doing that sort of thing?
Oh my god, I've been making art since I was 3.
Okay. So lifelong project.
Yeah, I studied music and art as an undergrad at MSU, and then that's when I finished my undergrad degree. That's when I started to do it like professionally, and I've been in galleries around the country, and just involved in different projects and stuff. But yeah, I've been doing it forever.
That's awesome.
Let's stop and
We've
do
got some
examples of work.
Oh no. Okay, this will work. Yeah, we've got some art here. Examples. So these are what are these?
So this one here, it's acrylic paint, and then the woman is collaged, and then the lettering was stenciled on.
Okay.
This one, the background's acrylic, and then I used that rub-on transfer film that you used to be able to get at scrapbook stores back when that was huge, and I would use that and create the text on that, so I could use any font I wanted, any size, whatever, run it through my computer, and then apply that to the canvas. So that's where a lot of my lettering has come from. That's the same with this one. So the image itself, that's all acrylic, and just the lettering is the rub-on lettering. And then this one's all acrylic.
Very nice. Is that all that we have here right now?
Yeah, there's the 4 images.
Okay.
How long have you been working with these with lettering like that?
I think I started in 2005, I want to say. So it's been a long time. I started doing this series made to look like gigantic vintage advertisements around that time. And I wanted to incorporate text into those. And most painters don't use text at all. So it was one of those trial and error things where I had to figure it out on my own. Like a lot of my older ones, I used a projector for the lettering and then hand painted them in, and that got to be super time consuming. And then I discovered the rub-on transfer film, and I used that for quite a few years, and now they stopped making that, and so now I'm figuring out what my next process is going to be.
Why'd they stop making rub-on transfer?
Because I think it's because the whole scrapbook boom died out. You used to be able to go to stores like Archivers or, even Michael's, and they just had tons of that stuff. Or you could buy entire books of individual letters you could cut out and apply. You can't find any of that stuff anymore. They just don't seem to make it anymore.
It's interesting.
I was just thinking it's kind of strange. You said you started doing this in 2004, and now I feel like this is one of the most common ways that people communicate with one another is by just overlaying words in text and then sending them to one another.
Yeah.
And that, the head of the digital trend right there.
I never thought of it that way, but
basically invented memes.
I feel like I should be getting paid more then.
Yeah, no, probably. And, it's...
Do you want me to pull it up?
No.
Oh.
I was just taking a peek.
Yeah. It seems like in some of your art you like to draw attention to? You like to send sort of a message.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah.
What are your passions with that?
Well, if there's a few. Social justice is one of them. So I have a bunch of paintings that deal with things like, you know, the affordability of live work spaces or health insurance or like different things that artists deal with on a daily basis, just trying to make a living. I have a whole bunch that deal with what it's like being female in the Trump era. There's a lot of fodder there. And then also the musician side of me, because that's so ingrained in me as well, that I have a ton of artwork that incorporates musical themes, whether it's like geeking out on records or playing in a band or any of that stuff. That has found its way into a lot of my work.
What instruments do you play?
I play guitar, bass, ukulele, flute. I used to play piccolo and piano, and I played a little bit of drums.
Oh,
so
it's quite the spread.
It's a lot of instruments.
Well, I used to teach music too, so you have to,
diversify.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you mentioned you taught at Scheidels for a while.
Yeah, I taught there for quite a long time. I did private lessons.
For guitar?
Mainly guitar, but I did some bass and some ukulele there too.
Have you been in any local groups here that?
Yeah, not recently, but a couple of years ago, I was in Nautro, or a version of Nautro with David and Caitlin, and that just kind of fell apart. I was in a band called Royal Atomic for a few years, and we did a lot of indie and alternative stuff. My first band was a punk band called Boy Scouts from Hell, and we played at the Blue Earth County Fair in 1996.
That's awesome.
We had food thrown at us because we were so bad.
So good though.
It makes for a good story.
Yeah. And fair food too.
I know, right?
It's expensive.
That's fun. Are you? What's your relationship with the music now?
Right now, it's kind of taken a back burner just because I'm so busy with the day job and my art stuff. Mm-hmm. I was playing in the Minnesota River Valley Wind Ensemble until just recently, and I had to step back because it's just one more commitment that I couldn't handle. But I'm hoping as things take off at the Arts Guild and kind of calm down and I have help and it's not just me running everything, that I'll have some free time to get back into it.
Mm-hmm. So with the Arts Guild, right now you're just in the process of building the people who will help facilitate everything, or?
Yeah, basically.
The back structure of it?
Yeah, we have to get our board together and get our paperwork finalized. And once that happens, we're going to qualify for more grant funding and things like that, because there are a lot of grants you can't apply for unless you have your nonprofit status. And then also, getting interns and just extra bodies on hand so we could do more and be open more hours. And
for someone who's interested, what is provided by someone who would like to be a member?
Well, it depends on the level. The student memberships start at $20 a year. We have individual for $40, a household for $60, and then a business or an organization for $100. And those get you discounts on tickets for events in the gallery, for any purchases if you want to buy artwork. If you want to take classes, you get discounts on those. You get invitations to events that are members only. And you also get a discount on space if you want to rent it out for any kind of event. And then if you get the organizational or business level, that includes 4 hours of free space usage a month. So if you have board meetings or conferences or whatever, then we just have to pop you on the calendar and you've got that space available. So
That sounds nice. And so that would be for people who are a member of Frentz Arts Guild.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is brand new this year. This is the first time we've had our own separate membership.
I think there's some confusion because when people talk about it, it's like very much associated with Twin Rivers, and it has like a similar name. So
Yeah.
I thought that's one of the things that'd be really useful about this video is being like, oh, like yes, the name is the same, but like it is actually its own separate and budding entity.
Right. Yeah. So Twin Rivers has their own programming. They have their own affiliate memberships. They are doing their own thing. We are doing our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
We just occupy two different buildings now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's good. Well, what else is there anything else we want to get into?
I don't have an agenda. Do you
I
have
don't.
any things that you are desiring to talk about on the internet?
I just want everybody to come check out the space and come to Creative Commons and I just want to make the Arts Guild feel really welcoming to everybody in the creative community, and I want them to know that they have a home here in Mankato, and I would love to see them there. So.
That sounds great. Well, Jake and I will be there hanging out for sure, and so you can come hang out with us and chat about projects, things like that. And
It's totally
I think
worth
it'll be
it.
good. Cool. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
We'll look forward to having Creative Commons start. What's the date of that? The 2nd?
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
6:00.
Yes.
It'll be a surprise.
Yeah.
All right. We're done.